hard rapper, an Indian rapper, cuh, with his own hood. Hey, a real goon doing his music thing.
What's the deal, y'all? It's P Thuggin back at it again with another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about Illah, the Indian up-and-coming rapper, also known as India's Only. He flew all the way from India to Southern California with hopes and dreams of making his rap career pop in a place that is known by so many. But I do have a question. Is India's Only dimmed by the light and being blackballed in a place he made home? In my opinion, he's something like a hidden talent that if he got the right spotlight, he would and still is making noise. Let's dive into Illah. LA is notorious for opening up opportunities for you to be successful, right? That's at least what everyone portrays. Everyone wants to go to Hollywood with hopes to blow up like artists such as Ice-T, Eazy-E, N.W.A, Ice Cube, Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, The Game, and so many more. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for Illah. He was placed right in the heart of Los Angeles, California, Compton to be exact. Not being able to read, write, or understand English, I dove into Illah and found out that in an interview, he stated he grew up with a love for music and he felt like LA would be the place that could make him and give him an opportunity to blow up through music school. Illah was unfortunately hit with a curveball, landing him right in Los Angeles, Compton, California. When you think of Compton, you automatically think YG, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, even Dr. Dre, who are very well known around the world. Well, Compton has been known as a gang-affiliated city since 1950. It's mainly black and Mexican gangs out there that formed together, but the blacks were the first to really kick it off and make things really happen. Anyways, over the years, the biracial community started to be a big influence around the world to people from different cities, states, even countries. Over time, a lot of people picked up on the lingo in LA. They even picked up on how they dress and the hip-hop culture of Los Angeles. So if you're not familiar with the country of India is one of the biggest populated countries in the world, right behind Russia, that has 1.4 billion people living in that country right now. Every year, at least 100 Indians migrate to the United States of America, hoping for better life. That's not always the case, though. In this situation, imagine being an Indian having to adapt to a community surrounded by gang activity, full of Bloods, Pyrus, Crips, Southerners. Illah stood tall, only staying true to himself, not allowing peer pressure to reel him into becoming another statistic. He still never lost his roots or his Indian culture. However, staying away from the gang life wasn't easy, but he made it happen. Peer pressure is real, and if the right people are vulnerable enough to fall inside of that trap, you will get grabbed. Illah started putting his reality of what he goes through, day in and out, into his music, and he used his skills of survival. He then started to progress a little bit. With being new to this lifestyle of California, he locked in with OYG Red Rum, who became pretty much like a father figure to him. OYG Red Rum was also a close friend to popular rapper Tupac Shakur, who is now deceased. I'm sure you guys know who that is, right? Well, OYG Red Rum is the reason Tupac was a part of the Black Panther movement and Blood and Pyru movement, and also locked in with Suge Knight and the Pyrus underneath his wing in the 90s. OYG Red Rum is the reason the Bloods and Crips clicked up with each other and made the legendary album Bangin' on Wax in 1993. He was not only signed to Death Row, but also had a big impact in stopping a lot of blood on Crip violence. OYG Red Rum then started gaming up Illah, teaching him the ropes and obstacles of surviving without having to join a gang and not have to pick a side. But he learned more than just survival skills. He still ran with certain groups of people that were helping him to get used to this lifestyle. So with Illah being new to America, not being able to speak basic English, when he arrived in Los Angeles, he learned the lingo in Los Angeles from Red Rum. He even learned how to take the bus to school from the trenches of Compton, Watts, and Inglewood, California, to Hollywood and other places just to go to school. The immigrant communities from Belize to Mexico and other racial communities in South Central and Compton is another reason why India's Only, Illah, started attracting a lot of attention and new supporters and fans from the outside of his upbringing. They feel connected to him being a foreigner and his story being unique. If you listen to his music, you'll hear it. Illah started looking for work, and he landed a job at 7-Eleven, but later lost the position when they found out that he shot a music video in his work uniform in the 7-Eleven store. That video since then has been gaining traction. When Illah first started out making music, he connected with an Atlanta artist. He was able to pay for a feature and ended up sending an open verse. The rapper stopped responding and later dropped a song that became his biggest hit, similar to the song Illah sent him. The song blew up, even getting that artist signed to the well-known rapper, Future. The YouTube page the video was posted under was a talent scout that would get an artist signed to record deals and take a founder percentage. So at that point, they didn't want this information getting out. The song received major radio play, made it even less possible for people to believe Illah, until the artist was later exposed by other artists doing the same scamming and stealing from them as well. After breaking through the barriers of being blackballed from the beginning, Illah kept pushing towards his dreams in music, slowly adapting to the West Coast sound, but then another tragedy took place. In 2021, tragedy struck when India's best friend, Joseph Fombi, known as Sosa, a local skateboarder from Compton, but also a member of a local gang, passed away. Sosa's death hit Indians hard because that was his best friend and someone he spent every single day with. Pulling him back into the harsh realities of the street life, suddenly he was left to fend for himself with no one in his corner. Shortly after, OYG Red Rum, his mentor, also passed away from cancer. That left India feeling lost, and he drifted in the streets once more time, without his father figure or his best friend. Still having balance in the expectation of his family in India, Illah faced grief, loss, and the consistent dangers lurking around every corner, while being far from what he once called home. Illah is also one of the main reasons that Los Angeles has been coming together when it comes to opposite gangs, because he successfully put people that wouldn't necessarily get along with each other together, and this is before Kendrick Lamar brought the city out. Illah used his pimpin' player music, and him not originally being from Los Angeles, it made it easier for him to get all of them together and make music under something called the Home Team, which was formed under the principles of OYG Red Rum, using music as a tool to unite people. After he took those steps, with him putting it to action, does this make him a bigger target? Some of Illah's first interactions was when he was packed out for not understanding the LA lingo earlier in his life, but in 2022, there was even an attempt on his life when a robbery was set up by his own friends and left him shook. Close sources say his closest friend joined hands behind his back as his music career started to take off locally. In fear of being left behind and dimmed by the light, his friend did the unthinkable. After the incident took place, pictures of him getting jumped were being circulated around the internet instead of anyone offering him help. The situation left him feeling like an outsider, like it would leave anyone else from a different country feeling, especially because he didn't have a gang to hide behind or feel a part of. The question is, why does everyone around him want him to stop rapping this bad? There were sources saying gang members didn't like to see the progress of someone who didn't have to go through what they did blow up. Therefore, that built envy in them. Adam22 had posted Illah after he got robbed on his story and ridiculed him for not having enough views on his Instagram, and pretty much says he wouldn't give him an interview. Immediately following that, it was a spike in Illah's numbers. Even then, Adam still didn't want to interview Illah. Does Adam really dislike him, or was this something Adam usually does? Because, let's be honest, No Jumper has interviewed random people with less reviews before, right? Even despite being blackballed by the industry, N.W.A only continue to make good music in a game dominated by label agenda and gang politics, where labels thrive off life insurance, catalogs from artists dying more than their careers when they're alive. His player pimp style of music is catching a buzz, while everyone else in Los Angeles is rapping about killing and shooting. But even with all the drama, questions lingering about his acceptance within the community is still at question. Even though he promotes the Indian image, is there something deeper to it? Why is he so accepted by the streets? Will they gatekeep him from the industry because he doesn't try to play an act? I'm not saying I don't think he's about that life or he's not really like that. I mean, look at him. I definitely think he got put into the streets or has some connections definitely to them. His questionable background raises the question in mind, who is he really backed by? Is he upsetting the Bloods by doing music with the Crips or vice versa, not putting himself into the politics and just vibing with everybody? Illah faces challenges as a foreigner growing up in a community with mostly blacks and Mexicans. He stood out due to his uniqueness. He now faces hate in the place he calls home. Is it because he's the only Indian that can actually make noise with just being himself and telling his story through his music that a lot of people relate to? Is it because he's not a gang member and won't let the vicious cycle of peer pressure draw him into the lifestyle? Is it because he says the N-word? Is it because he's hip to the lingo and styles that are honored in his country? How long will it take for Illah to break through the ropes of being a blackballed independent artist, straight from India, putting Los Angeles on his back, having to embrace something he wasn't born into, having to still influence the underground culture? Let me know in the comments what you think about Illah. Make sure to follow him on IG, tune in to his music, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will have more videos real soon. Y'all know it's the deal. We out.